The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hey, good evening, everybody. And I don't know, I need to adjust my camera because I look like a dinosaur or a alien of some sort. Don't look, just got my face. I thought it was working, and then it decided to move as usual. Well, Mercury's in retrograde, so we know that's happening. So, how is everybody doing? We'll see where this lands. Okay, just my face. That's okay. You know what my body looks like. So, welcome to Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you 2 shows a week, Sunday nights from 10 to 10 p.m., and on Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. Don't forget, Miss C.L. Thomas, the Gateway Podcast, will be on right after my show. Okay, right after mine. So please go over and give her some love. Tune into her show. She's got Carrie Lynn and 2 of my favorite gals on this platform. And it's going to be a great one. I mean, she's got a good guest. Carrie Ann's pretty cool. It's just going to be great. It really, really is. All right, so hi Cindy, Heidi, Kevin, Cindy, everybody. Welcome for coming in. Much love from Pennsylvania. New Jen, thank you very much for coming in. Newigen, okay, teacher. Okay, thank you for stopping in. So it's hotter than hell. Okay, it is like 94 degrees up here in the attic. And for everybody out there, okay, the bird did get out of the attic. He did. But he did it the following morning. We opened up the windows, no coercion, but he got really, really pissed at us, okay? And he pooped almost all over the attic, so I was scrubbing it down today. But the bird got out. Yay, so I was kind of happy on that. Yay, birdie free. So, as we talked about my trip to Gettysburg, I investigated with 2 other people who are beautiful, wonderful people. instead of calling it the Suicide Bridge, let's just call it the Eisenhower Bridge. Okay. And it's more respectable. You know, you say the Suicide Bridge, it's like gloomy as hell. You know, it's like, it's not healthy, you know. And I figured, let's just call it by its real name, the Eisenhower Bridge. You know, and I totally agree with that, because who wants to go on a dark and gloomy investigation? Me. Me. But no, it's the Eisenhower Bridge, and the two people that yeah, a tad dark. I mean, maybe we can explain how that happened. Hey, Coke. Now, here's the deal. So that Tuesday night, you know, I went, and these two wonderful people were there, and they were investigating the bridge. And I politely asked if I could join them, and they said yes. And it just made my Tuesday night. And my head's kicking my ass, so I got to move this camera somehow. You know what I mean? So tonight, there we go. Now I'm going to have to crank my neck. So tonight, I asked them if they would like to come on to the show, talk a little bit about themselves, and then we can talk about the investigation Tuesday night. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Marc and Tara from near Gettysburg. Hey, Marc. Hi, Tara. How are you?
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Everybody, Marc and Tara, everybody there in the chat room. And please feel free, ask questions. Ask questions as the show comes on. So again, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to investigate with you guys. I had a great time. I have never seen so many REM pods in one place. Heidi says, good evening, Marc and Tara. Much love from Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, thank you. Hello to you too, Heidi.
Hi.
And Cindy's from out around your area. She's out Central PA.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you too, Cindy.
And Kevin, he says, hi, Marc. Hi, Tara. And I do believe he's not. Is it Newfoundland? Joni, there you go. Hi, Joni. Good to see you. So they all come in. They're from all over the place, which is really good. So tell us about yourself, Marc and Tara, please. You know, what got you into paranormal investigation?
Well, for me, I didn't really have a choice. I was born in an old farmhouse in Baltimore, Maryland in 1981, and it was haunted. So I guess I can literally say I was born into it. And we lived there till I was about 5.5. And then we moved up here to Hanover, PA. And the house that my parents had built that I grew up in, that house was haunted. The house that Marc and I live in now is haunted. So we can't really get away from it. So you might as well just embrace it. And then I was really lucky enough. My great grandmother lived in a really small area in Virginia called Shelby. It's also known as Chase, Virginia. She owned an old plantation home, not like the fancy ones you see on Gone with the Wind, but a very an old, very small plantation home that actually was part of the Underground Railroad.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah, so that place was also very haunted. So I grew up with it. It's in my blood, I guess. And I've lived here in Hanover, PA for 44.5 years out of my 45-year existence.
You don't look a day over 30, honey.
Oh my!
You don't look a day over 30.
My body feels different, but yeah, I'm 45.
Wow.
But so we live 20 minutes from Gettysburg. So we go there all the time. We're history buffs. I went to school for history, so it's just something we just do it all the time.
Uh-huh. And how about you, Mark?
For me, it's paranormal has always been an interest of mine. It's one of those just, it's always the curiosity of what happens, what happened to the people, what happens to the spirits and all that. But really started getting into it when I met her. And we started going to Gettysburg and started taking a passion to the history and started learning a lot about the other side.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you like the history of the battle itself, and along with the hunting of the ghost?
To me personally, it goes hand in hand. It's to know the battle is to know the spirits, but to know the spirits is also to know the battle, is to talk to the spirits themselves. That's firsthand information as opposed to just reading what you can read in the books. So it's fascinating to know what happened, but to get more of a personal look into it.
Hey, okay, that sounds pretty good. Hey, Sparky, good to see you. Wow, I just lost train of thought. I was in. Wow, that happened. But that really don't happen a lot, but just right now it did. But so you see the ghost hunting shows on TV, and you see a lot of them on YouTube and stuff like that. I would like to get since you guys are good, okay, you guys are legit, seriously, and I really totally mean that.
I
And
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, and what do you think of the stuff that you see on TV?
I used to believe it a lot more than I currently do. It seems like a lot of it is Hollywood, ghost adventures. You're doing it. I mean, come on. When you're asking spirits and threatening them, you don't do that. You show respect. That's how you're going to get the answers. No,
Mhm.
I think it's a lot of publicity.
Yeah, because a lot of people that I do know that want to have that ego, like, okay, because I started PPS in 2006, okay, and at that time I think TAPS was in 1 year, but everybody wanted to have a TV show, and I didn't, and I just wanted to investigate. And then I just saw all these egos pop up back then. Okay. All these groups tried to outdo other groups. Okay. And I was the black sheep of the paranormal community here in Pittsburgh. I was. Because everybody had to go by the TAP family members, their rules. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not this kid. No, not this kid. And people would call me and yell, and not yell, but they say, what's up with you, Sean? Why don't you want to do what TAPS does? And I simply tell them straight out, because I'm not TAPS. I'm PPS. I'm going to do it my way. You remember back then? Yeah, yes, it is, Idaho. Yes, Sean, agree, ego is bad. Joni says, yeah, I always heard that you shouldn't yell at the ghost. Yeah, you don't yell at the ghost.
Why should you?
And it just like, I was just me. I just did my group. You know what I mean? It was like, because at that time they did not believe in orbs. You know what I mean? They didn't. And I believed in orbs. It's like, I see you're dealing with dew, and you're dealing with raindrops, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm not a dumbass. Okay, I could tell the difference between a regular orb and dew and rain or whatever. But have you ever taken a picture when it was raining out?
Well, yeah, on occasion, yeah.
Can you explain to me why it looks like the raindrops are going up in the air instead of down?
Oh no, but you're right. It does sometimes.
Yes. Do you understand? Do you know why? Do you have a? I don't either, and that's very perplexing nowadays.
I think it's kind of like the old time movies where the wheels look like they're going backwards.
Okay.
But I heard a theory as to why, but it's been a while since I watched the show.
I gave up. I'm like, okay, so they go upwards instead of downwards, but I'm okay with that. So, can you tell us what kind of interesting story that you have of Gettysburg when you investigated it?
Go ahead. I'll let you go first. Actually,
I don't know because we have a lot.
Yeah, I can start off with one. And this is just from I do ghost tours in Gettysburg, doing the ghost hunts and everything like that. On one of the tours, one of the more interesting ones that happened to me, the first year I was doing it, later in the season, I believe. Anyway, there was a younger lady and her boyfriend that were there, and both of them were actually using dowsing rods. And the way I usually do it is I just let people go investigate whatever, telling them what goes on because I want to see what they get. Don't want to put things in their head and let them tell me what happened and then kind of share with them other experiences. But anyway, what was going on is actually the lady went down towards a fence, towards a football field that there's still 100 to 200 Confederate soldiers, unfortunately, still under there. She was using the dowsing rods and was getting responses. And long and short of it, I didn't know any of this until after the tour was over. They were talking to me and wanted to stay a little longer. So they were down in one area. I went down the path to another, and we were using the spirit box. And at that point, I recognized the couple had walked down there, and I got the words, "I love you," came through the spirit box 3 times. And, it's like, yeah, it can be radio, but 3 times is really kind of weird. So we're trying to figure out why it was coming through the spirit box, and we couldn't figure it out. So long and short of it, the couple that stayed later, and I was talking to her, she said she was talking to a soldier who he was buried under the football field. She looked exactly like his fiance.
Oh, wow.
And they were supposed to get married after the war. Obviously, he's buried up there, so he didn't make it, but he would not leave her alone. He wanted nothing to do whatsoever with her boyfriend. He didn't exist. But when they were down there, it's like that she said that the "I love yous" actually made perfect sense. Okay. So just trying to talk to a couple other spirits that were there, and one of my favorite ones, she was trying to talk to her, and we got the word "leave." And you get the word "leave," you leave. Yeah. So we got up to leave, and the young lady ended up, me and her boyfriend actually started walking up the hill to leave. She was a little bit behind us. We were sitting down on the ground. She stood up and started crying hysterically because, as she explained to me, she said her feet were rooted to the ground. She couldn't move, but she felt hands on either shoulder actually pulling her back towards the football field. Oh, wow. That soldier did not want her to leave.
Oh, wow.
So that's one of the more interesting ones than from that perspective.
Okay, I have a question from Joni, and then I'll read Sparky's thing. Joni says, aren't those rods dangerous, the dowsing rods?
I haven't found anything dangerous about them now.
Dowsing rods are as old as the dawn of time, and they were originally called divining rods. And their true purpose is actually to look for water underground. So they just connect to energy, I guess. But at the same time, it's like anything else. Anything can be used for a dangerous purpose if used incorrectly.
Correct.
Also, don't get obsessed with them, because then if you get obsessed, then you risk the, attachments, this, that, whatever.
She also asked a question, do you talk to spirits in your house?
We only ever one time got any voices in our house. But we have tried to talk to them periodically. We do get a lot of weird noises. We get a lot of random smells. Usually we'll get tobacco, bacon, and like a bread smell. And yes, our neighbors do live close to us, but our windows are shut. And it just comes and goes so quick. And it's always concentrated in our kitchen. And our cats have periodically seen things that we haven't.
Okay, cats are the best.
Yes.
Babies and cats. Mr. Vogel, thank you for coming in. Tim Vogel says, I've used them to find water lines in camp, and he says it works, finding the water.
I've actually come in contact with quite a number of people that use them to find natural gas lines and all that. It's like people, it's the same thing. Nobody thinks that they really do work, but yeah, they absolutely do. They just don't necessarily like everybody.
The only thing I don't like about dowsing rods is that you can manipulate them. Hey, Augie.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You can manipulate them. You can manipulate the thing that goes around like that.
Pendulum.
The pendulum. Yep.
The pendulum, yeah.
Yep.
You can manipulate that stuff. So I stay away. And I'm going to tell a really rookie story. Not a rookie story, but I was pissed. There was a guy charging like $45, $50, to do an investigation. And he all gave everybody a dowsing rod, okay? And dowsing rod, everyone. There's like 4 or 5 of them. And guess where he took them? Right in the middle of Sachs Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to work. You're over water.
Because you're right over water.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was ignorant that day. I really was ignorant. And I said to them people, I said, you get your money back.
Yeah.
I said, and then I cornered the dude, and I said, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? What do you mean? What am I doing? I said, you got them using dowsing rods in the middle of Sachs Bridge, and you know damn well that it's going to, they attract water. And I was like, you're not worth it, dude. And Mark, we're going to have to go on break pretty soon, but before we come back, before we go on break, please tell people who you work for.
The company I work for is called Ghost Walk Gettysburg, and that's who we do. And I'm reading Sparky's comment about making them turn, but use them as fake. You have no idea, my friend. I'm right with you on that. I've seen a lot of people fake things, unfortunately. But that's also one of those where I'm also curious, because that's why if I'm talking to somebody who's getting the same information I've got from a previous tour, then that's a different story. Or the person, like my one favorite spirit there, actually everything we found out matched historical records. When I looked them up later, it was really, really fascinating.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds interesting. I mean, I think that would be a dream job for a lot of people to do what you're doing. But, the longest time at the beginning of Pittsburgh Paranormal Society, we would do 3-4 a week, and it got old after a while.
It does.
And I'm like 64 years old, and I can't do the wee hours of the morning anymore. And you get enough for work the next morning, it just don't cut it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm waiting for my retirement. So everybody, it is the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a couple minute break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about the investigation on the Eisenhower Bridge. So if you have to smoke, go smoke, get a coffee, pee, do what you got to do. And we'll see you back in a couple minutes.
welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Into the Night with. It's okay, Tara. We busted you. We busted you.
Filing her nails.
I broke a nail, so it's really getting on my nerves.
Oh, it is. It's called Mercury in retrograde.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah, but I want to welcome back everybody to the second half of the show. We are talking with Marc and Tara, and these two lovely people. You know, Tuesday night when I was up in Gettysburg, I was over at the Eisenhower Bridge, and they invited me to investigate with them. Thank you, Heidi. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the investigation. But I mean, I'm going to be honest with everybody out here. If you're looking for two professional paranormal investigators, they're right here. You know what I mean? They don't play, but they have fun. What I like about it, they have fun, but they don't play. You know, and I mean, we connected right from the beginning. You know, they just took me in just like, you know, like a child or whatever. You know, like a grandpa of some sort. They took me under their wing. But Marc, let's talk about it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you think of the investigation on Eisenhower Bridge?
It was interesting for sure. I don't know. It's just one of those. Well, the thing is, we go over there very frequently, and that place can be very negative. There are times that we don't even get out of the car; we just turn around and leave. And it's one of those. It's like, yeah, that investigation got to that point a little bit, but it was an interesting night. It definitely was on the interesting side.
Tara?
I agree. We don't tend to get an awful lot of activity when we do stick around there. Off the top of my head, I can only think of one other time where we've gotten the amount of activity that we all did on Tuesday night. So it was definitely an experience.
What I was impressed. Oh, well, we got Tim says when we have water leaks and the well's running, you find the leaks or it costs. I just go to the shop, grab some rods, bend them, and I'll find water lines, underground electric, use them for years. Thank you, Tim. I know I'm learning something from all these wonderful people who listen to the show. Mr. Tim Vogel, him and his brother Eric, They go and they investigate Bigfoot sightings, So I've had them on my show, and I'm telling you, they're great people, man, just like you two. But what impressed me the most was all the damn REM pods you had all over the place.
Well, truthfully, only one of them was ours. My boss gives me a couple to do the tours with, so, and there was a large tour group. He left his other one with me, so 2 of them were his.
Okay, so can you explain to the people out there in the 160 different countries that are watching the show right now, and the people in the chat room, could you please tell them what a REM pod is?
Yeah, REM pod is just a small little black, I refer to it as almost like a can, like talking to Civil War soldiers. You want to talk their lingo, with an antenna. And it's one of those that goes by proximity. The closer you get to it, or closer you get to the antenna, it turns green, or if you get closer to it, it'll turn to a blue color, purple, yellow. Then if you're touching it, it'll actually blink red. So that's how we use it, is just kind of explain it that way, and then just walk away, because the radius of it actually working is maybe like 6 inches away from it. So it's just if it goes near it, it'll go green, and it's just a way to set it someplace if they're not comfortable approaching us, just a way to talk to them.
Okay, I was just impressed with all the REM pods out there, and we did get some hits off the bridge. We really did. And Joni has a question for you guys. Would a normal person have paranormal activity on that bridge?
I think anybody could have some sort of activity on that bridge. I don't quite understand what she means by a normal person.
I think personable. All right, Tim, see ya. I think what she's talking is somebody that's not really in tune with paranormal hunting, who's not in tune with the spirits and stuff like that.
Yeah, anybody could. There's you can go out there and just like look around. You can look down into the water because it's shallow. There's a lot of different kind of species of turtles there. You can go there and bird watch, or look for the random cat we saw the other night.
Oh my God, that damn cat scared the crap out of me.
But like, as you're doing that, the atmosphere can change. So you're doing a normal everyday activity, looking at the birds, looking at the turtles, and all of a sudden you just get a weird vibe, like you're being watched, or you hear a weird creak when nobody's moving, or like the bangs that we heard. So yeah, I think anybody at all could have an experience anywhere.
Yeah. There's a lot of thoughts that, you don't need the fancy equipment or anything like that to investigate, or just to feel things. It's like we've been walking through museums, and where it's like just out of nowhere. There's one museum down in Virginia I went to that I started, it was affecting me. I started actually crying and feeling like a sadness overwhelming me. And normally I don't get those feelings. That's not the sort of person I am. So yeah, absolutely. Just anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, no, Joni, there was no confusion at all. Not at all, sweetie. But yes, normal people who don't really know paranormal investigating, yeah, they can. You know what I mean? And I've taken a lot of people, I don't want to say non-believers, maybe I'll call them skeptics or whatever. I would take them on an investigation. And, to me, when you get a personal one done to you, like your hair pulled or scratched or whatever, a personal experience, to me, that is the best evidence anybody can get when something like that happens. It don't have to be, them pulling on your hair really hard, or maybe you feel a touch, or you feel a breeze coming in. But I will tell you this, Johnny, when we were there, and this is the truth, if you were there with us, if you were by the cars, it was like, and this is, I forget what the temperature was, we'll say 79 degrees. But once we got on that bridge, once we crossed that threshold, it dropped down to like 72, 71. And it was freezing cold. And if you really didn't know anything about the different temperature changes, it happened. It got really, really cold. And speaking of that damn cat, it scared the crap out of me. It really did.
Well, Cameron really liked watching it with the infrared binoculars.
Oh yeah. And then, we were sitting there, and then we had another guy come, and he investigated with us. So there she is, Carrie Lynn. She's going to be on. She's going to be on CL show right after mine. Carrie Lynn is a loving lady. She's a dear, dear, blessed friend, and I'm just excited for her, and I'm excited for CL. And that is the Gateway Podcast now. That right after my show, 9:15 Eastern. Please tune into her. You got Carrie Lynn and CL. I'm telling you, what a tag team, man. That's going to be a nice, hard, very loving, very caring, good show. I do believe it. But what impressed you about that night on the bridge? Why are you looking at her, Mark?
To see what her opinion is. For me personally, it's one of those where, honestly, it's anytime we get responses there, especially the ones we like with the REM pod going off. There are spirits there that try, in my opinion, it's one of those, they try to look after us because there is some negative energy there. There's also some there's Native American energy that's there as well. There's going there as many times as we have and talking to different people, this, that, everything else. There's a Native American watcher there that's very unhappy towards people there. There's a lot of graffiti on that bridge. There's a lot of people that use the Ouija boards that go there. There's a lot of people who go there and don't know what they're doing or what they're asking. Going there to that bridge, asking for spirits that are over at Sachs Bridge, just people being very disrespectful. And that spirit doesn't like it and can come across as very malevolent. But anyway, there's other spirits that are there that like to warn us. That's why we're like with the REM pod going off, when we asked, hey, do you want us to go towards it or do you want us to leave? And it was going off kind of to me indicating, hey, yeah, move up this way away from the negativity.
That's interesting. Sparky, Mike, this has not been flagged, dude. The show, it has not been flagged. I would have known if it got flagged, I would have gotten an email. And I got my phone next to me. So, but it happened before. And so, have you ever been to the Sachs Cover Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Many times.
What do you think of that? I can tell you stories beyond, but you're my guest. And I would like, because I talk about Sachs a lot too, along with the Eisenhower Bridge. And they're right down the road from each other.
Yeah.
So, well, let me come back a little bit. Was the Eisenhower Bridge built back in the 1800s during the Gettysburg deal?
No, it was not there at the time of the battle. If I remember correctly, I believe it was built 1886. So it would have been after the battle.
Okay. So I was just wondering when we were there. Okay. And, did they cross that creek up around that area? Hey, Carrie, good to see you, hon.
They would have crossed the creek somewhere, because I was actually been trying to find out exactly where, because like Sachs Bridge was there toward the time of the battle. First Corps, first and third, I believe, ended up crossing Sachs Bridge on the way into Gettysburg. Then, of course, it was used as a field hospital on July 3rd into the 4th. The wagon train of wounded, a majority of it crossed over. So it was there in Willoughby Run, which is what Eisenhower Bridge goes over.
Okay.
Obviously, it was there. They had to cross somewhere, but I don't know if they crossed at that exact spot.
I would think so. No, because I do believe that the bridge was up further toward the road. Okay, and then they had like some big storm come in and it knocked it off wherever the bridge was. It just kind of destroyed the bridge. It didn't break it up, but you know, it it lost wherever it was at, and then it went down, and they just built it right there.
Yeah, 1990s. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Thank you, Mr. Vogel, the brother. I wonder if that's Eric. Yeah, that's probably Eric. The Vogel brothers. That's Eric. Hi, Eric. Good to see you, buddy. But I just, to me, when I was on the Sachs Bridge, there was a soldier, a Confederate soldier, and he was from Mississippi, and he was a showboat, especially during the summer whenever you had a lot of people on there, and he would just light up all the K2 meters all over the place, and I'd be like, okay, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You just want to show off for everybody. And what I would do is I would leave him a cigarette, and I'll leave him one match. Okay. And it was just like God's gift to him, getting the cigarette and the match. Now, as time went by, because I went up there a lot, and and I would leave, like, we would be there until like 2, 3 in the morning over at Saks, right? And I would leave a little airplane bottle of whiskey. Boy, he was like in heaven for that.
Oh, yeah.
He was in heaven. And I asked you this question. I have so many good stories from Sachs Bridge. I really do. But back to the Eisenhower Bridge. Okay. Now, when you cross the bridge and you follow that path, right, up to the farm, to me, that is creepier.
Yes.
Walking that path than it is being on the bridge or near the bridge.
It is. That's that's where some of the negative energy resides, is down in that area. I always refer to it as Sleepy Hollow of the area. It used to be overgrown on either side.
Right. I remember the one time, last time I was up there, where we were sitting at, right next to the bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A person from at the group at the time, she caught this picture of these like yellow or red eyes. This thing was sick, dude. It was ugly looking. It wasn't human. It wasn't a troll. Nothing like that. It was just gross. And I mean, that day we went up there, it was very, very terrible energy. Now, everybody need to tell you, remember how the birds and the animals were going? Talking, gabbing, yelling, screeching and shit, right? And then what did I say? I said, just wait until these birds go quiet, the animals go quiet. And like, what, 20 minutes later, they went quiet?
Yeah, except for
Hey, CL. They went quiet. And there was this damn owl.
Yes.
And and Mark sent me all the EVPs that they did out there. And I'm listening to them. And I hear this damn owl. Okay. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But, but being there, live and listening to this damn owl, it was like really getting on my nerves, man. It was that dude had to go. Seriously. But we heard some weird clanking. We heard some weird ticks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a really good EVP. We were right, not on the bridge, but right next to the bridge. And I heard it. It said, "Help me." I mean, it was like really, really cool. Mm-hmm. And then he sent me some other EVPs about clanking on the bridge because, hey, CL, good to see you, hon. CL Thomas, that's her. Her show's on right after mine. It's the Gateway Podcast. and with Carrie Lynn. Yes. So you got to go over there. You got to give them love. You got to show them love, please. And but when we were sitting there and we heard the knocking on the bridge, you know, it was fascinating, and there was nobody around. It was just like clanking, you know, and I that was fascinating. Trying to figure out what was hitting that bridge, you know. So we are getting close to the end of the time here. We got about 4 minutes left, and then I got to pull the cards. What I would like you, if it's okay with you guys, just to summarize how you guys felt that night during the investigation.
For me, just a real quick summary. It was just when we got there, it was actually feeling rather peaceful, which was surprising for us. But it was just peaceful. It's like any other time where it's peaceful. Then you can feel like something is there. Doesn't really everything else there kind of goes away, and then this other entity, be it the negative one, be it the Native American, whichever, just starts kind of kicking everybody out, lack of a better way to put it. And it got to be negative, kind of calm down, go to the other side of the bridge. Then it's like everything is surrounding us. Time to go, that sort of thing, I guess would be a good summary. I don't know, your thoughts?
I think it went really well because we got intelligent, purposeful responses to some of the things we were asking. And it was definitely wanting to and interacting with us. And that's, that doesn't always happen.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. It made me feel really good. And everybody, I want to tell you something. I just met two new beautiful friends. We got a friendship going, and they're wonderful people. And I would put these people up against any of those TV show investigators and shit like that, man. No doubt in my mind. But
it does.
Well, you can read what they're saying in the chat, right, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heidi said thank you.
And thank
so
you.
Everybody, this is the best time of the show. This is where everybody works for. So I'm shuffling the cards. While I'm shuffling, Mark, Tara, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you inviting us.
Oh, you're welcome. And we can do this again someday. I would appreciate it.
Anytime.
We could talk paranormal.
Yep.
Joni says that I'm wonderful too. Thank you, Joni. I appreciate that. So I shuffled the cards, everybody, and boom, I'm cutting them. Thank you, Spark. And I am pulling in the deer. Okay, the deer. Heidi, if you can you please put up the deer, what it means? But to me, when I look at that deer, to me, it's gentleness. It's family orientated, very protective. Especially the does are very, very protective of their children, And I see a bunch of. Okay, hold on. Heidi got it. Heidi said, centers on gentleness, intuition, and grace, symbolizing innocence, peace, and a strong connection to nature. So everybody,
with the Native American theme tonight. So that's interesting.
Yes, and everybody, that is a show tonight. I'm glad everybody picked the deer, and I'm glad I picked the deer for everybody. But children, if you can, please go and give your parents a hug and tell them that you love them. Thank you, Kevin. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents, and if you have no children, find someone, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them.
Mhm.
Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And remember, please protect the children that are out there. Please protect them. And on that note, everybody, have a wonderful week. Try to stay cool. And I will see you Sunday. Good night.